Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel, and Spurs, Antonio Conte. Red card law explained after fight. The football world continues to experience the aftershock of the nasty scenes that followed Chelsea's thrilling 2-2 draw with Tottenham Spurs at Stamford Bridge. Blue coach Thomas Tuchel and his Spurs counterpart Antonio Conte got into a snap-up after a testy handshake that followed the game. While both of them were deservedly shown a red card, question arose about the validity of these decisions, seeing that the match had already ended. Follow Sports Brief on Twitter for more trending and breaking news. Clarifications has been given as to why Antonio Taylor has the authority to brandish a red card to Chelsea and Tottenham Spurs coaches Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte, respectively, once the game had ended. The German and Italian were involved in fracas after the final whistle, which involved players and management from both sides after resulting encounter at Stamford Bridge. This one, Thomas Tuchel and Antonio were sent off after a post-match fight at Stamford Bridge. While they both deserved to be sent off for violent conduct, there was confusion about where and when the referee has the power to dismiss anyone involved in a match within the Stamford's facilities, particularly now that the game has ended. Host Thomas Alambo on South Africa television's Extra Time magazine show on the Super Sport posed that questions to pundit a former FIFA reference Andy Akobo, whose response: Law 5 in the FIFA law of the game empower the referee to take charge of everything that takes place within the presence the field enclosure from the moment he stepped onto the field to the moment he stepped back into the tunnel. It was well within the jurisdiction. Of the referee to show both coach the red card because he was on the field of play at that moment. Tuchel and Conte short after the battle of the bridge. Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel and Tottenham's board Antonio Conte have been charged with improper conduct after their explosive clashes in Sunday's stormy 2-2 draw. A report of Sky's Sport Brief, Tuchel and Conte were embroiled in two angry exchanges as tempers flared in the Premier League showdown at Stamford Bridge. Both managers were booked for the first brush-up, which was broken after Conte celebrated period Emmy Højbjerg's equalizers close to Tuchel's technical area. Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea head coach, slapped Spurs striker Harry Kane after Furley London derby. Harry Kane and Thomas Tuchel joked after the match between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur that Start with Tuchel slapping Kane. The striker did not seem to take offense with the Tuchel action as they both laughed it off. It followed a scuffle between the Tuchel and Kane's coach Antonio Conte during the match of Stamford Bridge. Follow Sport Bridge on this one. Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel and Tottenham Spurs striker Harry Kane share a light moment after the London game on Sunday. Kane said, Kane rescued a point for his side right at the dead in a game that they were completely dominated. The Englishman extended his exemplary record in London derbies by equalizing in the 96th minute of 2-2 scoreline. Check out anew. This was a game marked by intense clash between two buckouts, with both managers receiving red card after the game. Tuchel then went on a rant during the post-match press conference of how match day referee Antonio Taylor was biased. He then afterward took issue with Kane, always jokingly, for denying his side maximum point. According to Daily Star, Kane was conducting his interview with the BBC Radio Live 5 when the Tuchel interrupted and slapped him. The two then joked about the slap, with Kane telling Tuchel that it should be another red card. The duo laughed off the incidents before Tuchel walked off. Thomas Tuchel flexed his bicep after the clash with Antonio Conte. Flexes his bicep after clash with Antonio Conte. Sport Brief has earlier report that Thomas Tuchel jokingly flexed his bicep followed Chelsea intriguing 2-2 draw with Tottenham Spurs at Stamford Bridge. The Chelsea manager and his opposite number, Antonio Conte, clashed in a heated row during and after the London derby on Sunday, August 14. But Tuchel and Conte has a perfect start on 2022-2023 campaign, recording win over Everton and Southampton, respectively, on the opening weekend ahead of Sunday feature. Tuchel delivered a wholesome moment at his post-match presser, with the German tacticians aiming a dig at referee Antonio Taylor, while insisting his side deserving the win. But during the press conference, the 48-year-old Chelsea boss jokingly showed off his muscle to reporters. Tuchel insists that the coming together that saw both coaches red carded has hardly a big deal.